Ladies and gentlemen, a joyride cut short to becoming literally the last ride. It's a scary reality of a 28-year-old young techie, a woman who dared to dream and follow her passion or hobby. She trained for 16 hours with Let's Ride, an organization that trains you on your dream wheels and also allows you to rent them as well. Their focus also remains on women. Even in today's India, remember, riding bike is often associated with breaking stereotypes. Soumita's family, though, says they were unaware of Soumita taking on her biking dreams and even training for it. Soumita trained for 16 hours before renting a bike and safety gear and eventually taking off for a group ride. Is 16 hours of training enough for a group ride such as this? A BMW bike collided head-on with a Varna car near a sharp curve, throwing her onto the road. Her safety gear couldn't protect her. She was left with severe bleeding, internal injuries including the head. But while these raise questions in itself, there's another horrifying aspect. According to Kuldeep, the founder of Let's Ride, he and the team rushed Soumita to the hospital right after the accident in their rescue van. 2 hospitals refused admission or treatment. Only the 3rd hospital, civil hospital, allowed for admission. But it was too late. What right do hospitals have to deny immediate treatment or admission to road accident victims, despite laws, central and state schemes against it? Big questions that need responsible answers. Let me at this point introduce you my panel. In fact, Kuldeep Sharma joins us. Kuldeep Sharma, as I said earlier, is a co-founder of Let's Ride Training Academy. And it was with his academy that Soumita, in fact, trained. Thank you very much, Mr. Kuldeep, for joining us. I'm also being joined by PK Jain, who's a retired senior IPS officer. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. PK Jain. Dr. Vandana Singh joins us, who's a citizen voice. Good evening, Ms. Vandana. Thank you so much for your time. I'm also being joined by Divya Kumari, who's a Let's Ride member herself. Thank you very much, all of you. Well, let me just start with you, Mr. Kuldeep Sharma. What happened that morning? Could you just very quickly tell us the sequence of events of what really happened?
Sure. So, Sneha, before we start, I want to give my grief and condolences to the family. This is an unfortunate road accident, first of all, and my teams, my well wishes, and may God give strength to the family. That day, first we talked about the course, we will go that, but that day, 14 girls group goes for the riding to practice on a very road just to have that practice after learning. Everyone has the all safety gear provided by us, all the training. That day, we almost completed the complete group took the ride from Noida to Gurugram, and all 78-kilometer ride flawlessly. Unfortunately, that curve, which was a little blind, the car is coming from the side. It's a single lane road. It hits the side and she lost the balance and she fell. Then we all came there, and our rescue van, we took Soumita in our car, and we rushed to the nearest hospital, which was, the time of accident was around before 9, couple of minutes, 8:55 or 8:58. We rushed her to the hospital, which was in Badshahpur, and that hospital refuses to enter. We tried to shift Soumita to the ambulance, because which has a more care, better care of the patient, and we shifted. That hospital denied to the access to the patient treatment. That time she was alive. Then we moved to the second hospital. So they said, you go to the second hospital. We took her there. Then they also denied. Even the second hospital just not let the patient enter. They come out of the hospital and say, you go to the another hospital.
She was still alive?
She was alive. Because once we shifted to stretcher to the ambulance, she was there. Mm-hmm. And it was a very, it's giving me, tough time to speak, because I'm still in shock a little bit with this behavior, because the first thing at priority. The patient should not deny to get the access to the healthcare.
Okay, so Mr. Kuldeep, since the accident happened, to reaching the first hospital, how long did it take?
We reached there 9:22.
What time the accident happened?
9. It took us 21 minutes from the spot of accident to the very first nearest hospital.
9 o'clock the accident happens, 9:22. You
2
reach
or
the first...
9:20,
Okay.
approximately 15, 20
You
minutes.
reached the first hospital?
Yes. Yes.
And by the time you reached the third hospital, what was the time?
It was 10. It was the second hospital was just 5 minutes away from that. We rushed to it. My background is from healthcare, so I understand the protocols very well. So we took to the third hospital. We put it into the right ICU, and after the checkup, they said it's death on arrival. The third hospital.
1 hour.
Yeah. But I totally believe in if the very first hospital got the treatment, this could be avoided.
Well, let me just get in PK Jain at this point. PK Jain, this is so disturbing. This is so worrying. I have 2 questions to ask you. As somebody who's an experienced police officer, you've seen a lot of road accidents. My first question is 16 hours of an intensive training, as the organization claims, do you think that can prepare riders to ride in the city in groups from A location to B location? And the second point that I want to ask you is, 1 hour, 3 hospitals, a road accident victim is taken, and only the third hospital 1 hour later is willing to give treatment or admission, PK Jain.
Good evening, Sneha. Thank you very much for having me here. Yes, the entire situation is extremely disturbing. Your first question about the quantum of training, whether it is sufficient or not. A few days back, I was probably on your show only, where we had discussed the accident by a Lamborghini in Noida. Now, there also it was the same thing. The person had taken it for a ride, and then he met with an accident, and he killed. Some persons were injured. Now, all these powerful bikes and machines, which require specialized handling, I believe 16 hours of training probably would not be able to do that. Probably why she picked up this courage was because another 13, 14 girls were joining, so it was a group effort. That's why she probably joined the exercise, and maybe on a longer stretch they wanted to ride it out. But I think a little longer training till the time the person was confident enough to handle the bike and this kind of a powerful machine should have been given. I mean, Mr. Sharma is the right person to say whether she was prepared for the ride or not. Apparently, she was prepared according to him. That's why the bike was rented out to her also. But I think an independent assessment of that should be made, whether such powerful vehicles should be given to individuals who have no experience or who have a very little experience in handling such bikes. Second, about the hospital. I think it is absolute criminal negligence on the part of those 2 hospitals who refuse to admit. There are Supreme Court guidelines now that a person should be taken to the nearest hospital, healthcare should be provided, and if the person who takes the injured to the hospital, even he need not disclose his name and address to the hospital or to the police. So the instructions are very clear. Life is important, and the golden hour, as we say, the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it took 20 minutes to take her to the hospital. Next 40 minutes could have probably done wonders and saved her life. And yet it was not saved because of the callous and negligent, criminal negligent attitude of the hospitals. I think the police should take due cognizance and file a case against both the hospitals against which Mr. Sharma is saying that they had taken to. Sneha.
I think it's just going to be terribly tragic if that case is not registered. I think it's of utmost importance that a strong enough message goes that it can't take an accident victim to reach 3 hospitals and for only the third hospital to allow admission or even give the first attention that's required. That's absolutely criminal, as you said, PK Jain. But Mr. Kuldeep, allow me to come to you at this point. And sure, it's your organization, you're running the organization, and people may say you have your vested interests. That's one point. Let's just look at this as a journalist and as viewers, parents, family members who would be watching this. 16 hours of however intense training you claim you give. Do you really think it equips a person to take the city roads, roads that kill possibly a person every minute?
Sneha, मैं इसको should I speak in English?
Yes,
Hindi,
if you
both
could,
I can
please.
use. Okay, because my viewers, I want to give this message very straight.
Yeah, because
Some
also a lot of
people
viewers are in
may-
South, so they will prefer.
Absolutely. So I will use English. What I want to start with, once we say, like Sir also said about the hour of course. So I want to start with, is there any guidelines how much the training should be? Very first question I want to ask. And I will answer this also.
Yes, please.
Is there any motorcycle training academies are available? Before I go to answer these questions, I want to give a very small context to my viewer, why we started, what's the interest in Let's Ride. Let's Ride.
No, but first, before that, is there a guidelines on how many hours of training should be done before one hits the road?
No. So I will give answer how we started. It will have answer in these. How we started this training academy where no one exists in India. There are 2 pointers. We lost one of my friend in 2018. I am working full time 9 to 5 like all others. This exercise Let's Ride is a non-profit effort passion driven training classes we give from 2018 onward, and we have trained more than 3500. There is no accident reported. What I want to draw attention, instead of saying powerful bike, our perception is the BMW makes powerful bike. But to all viewers, I want to say this is the bike which is underpowered than Bullet we all see on the road. That is the fact check we should do. This bike is 310cc, which deliver less power than Bullet, which is 350cc.
No, but Mr. Kuldeep, because you're also associated and you are so passionate about,
Safety.
empowering people, safety, as you claim. But the question is this: I mean, look at the frequency of road accidents, and logically speaking, for somebody who would have done a 16-hour course, I don't know whether I would take on going onto the road from Gurugram to Noida after a 16-hour course.
So
I mean, it would take me a couple of ridings
there
around.
is a misunderstanding when I use say 16-hour course. The course is dispersed in 1.5 months. Okay. Once we take a car training, for example, I'm just giving a perspective to make it right. Car training is given on 7 days, half an hour days. If you total hour, it's hardly 10 hours training of car given by the training school. Am I right? 15 days, 70 days, half an hour. If you say it's a 8 hours or 16 hours course. So the training of any kind of vehicle needs 15 to 16 hours to understand the basic. Soumita Singh took this course in March after regressive practice. We have the records which we maintained for every participant in first 4-hour session what they learnt. So everything.
But her family has named you in their complaint as well.
That's I can totally understand if someone is learning how to drive a car. I'm taking car example which is more popular. If someone hits,
no, let's do a bike because bike is
you cannot put blame on the motorcycle training or car training.
Okay.
But not missing the point. What I wanted to say, 16-hour training courses is spread over and it is mixed with the practice before even. As I told, 4,000 girls have trained. They have growing day by day by having small practice, small rides.
Okay.
Then they reach to the point where they are going on the road. So it's not 16-hour done and 70th hour not on the road. That's not the prescribed way. Spread over a month and a half. You spend 4 hours, you spend 2 hours, you do practice, you become ready. Second point, the bike we are talking about is not powerful. It's under-delivered than normal Bullet we see. But the brand give that the perception it's very powerful. It's not.
Okay, I'm being told that in fact my team is just sending me a message at this point, and I think in terms of it doesn't make sense in terms of what you were saying. I'll just leave this with you for a fact check. But meanwhile, let me just turn my focus to Divya Kumari. Divya Kumari, here's my question to you. You yourself are part of Let's Ride, but you're a woman rider. And I'm saying a woman biker for a particular reason, because in today's India, you still seem to be breaking stereotypes before you really go ahead on the road. How do you look at what's unfolded?
First of all, the main reason is to join the Let's Ride is that there is something behind in my mind that due to just the bike accident, I have lost my own brother. Okay, so there is something in my mind that I want to make clear. I have to fight with myself. I just you can say that I just quarantine myself in the room for just for more than 1.5 years. I was totally scared of the bikes and totally the things. Okay, when I came to know about Let's Ride, my first thing is there any academy that's really train how to ride a bike, because I know it's very important. When I just came to the academy, I met with Kuldeep Sir, and I just know the procedure that there is a thing where people should know about what is the emergency braking and all the thing. Okay, so it is all about the methods and the techniques that people should know if you are going on the bike on the road. Okay, so the course is very planned, very structured way. Okay,
No,
if
Dr.
someone is
Van,
not knowing
no,
anything about the
no,
cycle,
I
about the
understand,
bike
Divya.
and
Divya,
scooty, anything, still
what
she
I'm
can.
asking you is, Divya, as a woman, as a biker yourself, as a woman yourself, when you hear what happened with Soumita, what goes through your mind?
Uh, It's see, I when I came to know about this incident, I was not able to realize anything that moment. Okay, it was really shocking for me as well. Okay, so at that time I was not aware of anything, because when I reached to the place, like they already rushed to the hospital. Okay, then I just came with the KD sir to the hospital. So that time it was not, we don't have that much time to realize anything.
Okay. Dr. Vandana Singh, I believe there's something that's troubling you. You've been wanting to share some experiences.
Yes, Sneha.
Dr. Vandana Singh? Dr. Vandana Singh, I believe
Yes,
you have had experiences quite similar.
yes.
There's been something that's really worrying you. Please go ahead, share your experiences.
Thank you, Sneha, for having me. While we are talking about equal opportunities, we talk about women in adventurous activities. So, empowerment and not restriction. That's my first take. Second take is, risk is not gender specific.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay. We seem to have a network issue, Ms. Vandana. We'll try and fix that, Ms. Vandana, and we'll come to you. But PK Jain, I think Dr. Vandana is saying an important part, and that is risk is not gender specific. But if we say risk is not gender specific, the fact that one undertakes certain activities often comes with compounded risk with a specific gender. PK Jain.
Um, I, yeah, hi, Sneha. I may partly agree with you. I may partly disagree with you, because there are girls who are getting into all kind of sports these days. Para jumping to paragliding, and I don't know, all kind of sports which generally were the stereotypes, not the girls' games types. Now, if there's a group of girls and women who want to go out on a long ride and all that, this is perfectly fine. In fact, now the people have started accepting these things. But in this case, what has apparently happened is that she went out. If she was a beginner, she had never ridden a bike earlier. To my mind, even though Mr. Kuldeep Sharma says that 16 hours is good enough and she was feeling confident, to my mind, to take a journey like this in 16 hours of training is a little far-fetched. It requires much longer practice before a person can actually go out and ride a bike. Second was 310cc is no less powerful a bike. We are comparing with the Bullet, yes, but there are other bikes which are available in the category 220, 250cc and all that, and even lesser. So when we talk of the two most powerful bikes, let's say, is 350, which is Bullet, 310, which is BMW. So BMW by itself is a very, I would call it a very powerful bike. And when you're speeding a bike, and when you're speeding a bike in a group, that is how probably this accident took place. I mean, such a bad accident. That's how this accident took place. So it was a serious matter. I think, though there are no guidelines, there are no rules, licenses can be purchased through the agents. So even 10 hours of practice may not be there. But the person has to be careful himself before one undertakes an excursion or a expedition like this. They have to be careful themselves whether they are confident about taking this kind of a excursion outside or ride outside or not. So I think, but taking risk these days, girls are very, very open to taking risks. They want to experiment with various, various things in life. Sneha ji.
That's true. That's true. Mr. Kuldeep, so you could see when the Soumita and the car collided, you could see what really happened.
No, exactly, because once we go in a group, we go in a very lane formation. I agree to Sir, the enough training cannot be enough. Every day you learn. So I take any simple example. If I want to learn motorcycle or anything, I learn first. Then I took very first time on the road very carefully. Then second time, third time, fourth time, I eventually get experienced and I can do that. So that is a learning process. To question your answer, the question is here, is it sufficient and do you think it's ready?
No, what I was asking you is, was there a problem that she could not control her bike, her acceleration? Because some of the reports have stated that.
I'll give you two logical reasons why it is not the case. Noida to Gurugram is almost 68 kilometers and all the roads are similar complexity level. Okay, we almost completed 98% of the ride without nothing because our discipline is there in the group. Because I personally feel women and girls are more responsible on the road compared to any non-trained person on the road. So when we talk about safety, I personally feel the responsibility, adding to the sir said, is the rider. There is a consent form, all formality done by us, all gear check done by us. The test is taken by trainer before they are ready or not. We don't want to take any responsibility from our side and from the right side, so there is a risk involved. Thus, all girls able to done this similar complexity ride very efficiently. That was very unfortunate on the blind curve. The car was coming and the side mirror just touched and it's not because of speed, because the investigation team from police was there. There is not technical, yes, there is not technical possibility to increase the speed because it's a very small road and it's curved road.
Okay.
Even an experienced rider like me of 22 years, I can't overspeed there. And control was very much there because 78-kilometer ride is good enough record from the rider. She can manage the speed and everything. And our group ride always have speed limit, line formation with a marshal, backup vehicle. That's why we're able to pull the victim very in 20 minutes. So we are mentally prepared, whatever responsibility, what the safety measures we need to take.
Okay.
We are doing this for so long and experience. That's why we able to assess the possible risk possibilities.
Okay. Dr. Vandana, I believe you are back with us. Dr. Vandana, go ahead. I mean, we were also talking about the fact that, and as you were mentioning, risk doesn't know gender or gender doesn't know risk, but it's also how gender is perceived from the lens of risk, and they're perceived very differently. And in this case, it's my heart goes out to the family, quite honestly, but the family did not even know that Soumita had these biking dreams and she was training on her bike. That itself is quite telling.
Sure, it is. But then it's not uncommon either, Sneha. You would agree with me that we all have our hobbies, and nothing says that this is gender specific or we can't venture into adventure sports or what we want to do. I think it's our right as a human being first. So this is not gender specific. Secondly, here I really like to question the kind of roads we have, the kind of protocol that's provided. the current emergency scene response that we call, okay, there is something called the golden hour, which was lost, as we can clearly see, and that why it went into 40 minutes is being investigated. And obviously, the lady in question could have been saved. But what I really want to question is the emergency scene response, even with the new policies and everything that is in place. The emergency response time is supposed to be 10 minutes. And if you see at an average, even as we speak, as of now, it is 14.2 minutes, which could be life and death. And in this case, it is close to 40 minutes. So obviously that was lost. That is criminal investigation that needs to be called for. Secondly, I believe women, young and old, wanting to have any hobby, any adventure sport, wanting to fly, wanting to go on a bike, wanting to take any sort of a course, there is nothing wrong with it. Many of them still do not perhaps advise their families, but they don't need to because they are old enough and they are mature enough. I do believe that, I mean, you look at the roads today, if there is an ambulance behind you, do you even see that they get the right passage to move through? I don't think so. And then comes the protocol. What is the safety protocol within? What is the rapid protocol within the critical care team in the ambulance? Are they even doing anything? Abroad, they provide all sort of emergency measures to stabilize, the injured, right inside there, even before reaching the site of the hospital. And here we have do's and don'ts. We here are still in a dilemma as why two hospitals have denied, and a third one, by the time she's reached, she's gone. So what kind of an age and what kind of policies are we looking at? This is 2025. And if India is still in this kind of a situation where we don't even have a place for safe bicycle riding, I'm not even talking bikes right now. Even for bicycles, we don't have routes, clear routes. And here we are talking of an adventure trail, a pretty safe adventure trail. And that goes into this scenario where we are being told that in 22 minutes the response was taken, and it took another 40 minutes, 1 hour, and the life could have been saved. But this is what our hospitals are doing. So it's not question about gender. It's not question about why she did or why she didn't tell her family. It's about free will. It's about equal rights. But point here is what happened when an emergency happened. It could happen to anybody. This is happening daily. And I have seen two of my friends go like this, where
Absolutely.
hospitals are denied, where police refuses to come through, where they say lodge an FIR. Once an FIR is done and a police comes, then we will touch the victim. And by the time the body, and it's a body by that time. So question is what protocol, what needs to be done, what kind of emergency scene response we have. I'm questioning all of that. And I think it's time that we put our antennas on that and that the government really looks into it. And this is a citizen's voice speaking here to you, Sneha. And I still see there is no place for ambulances to pass through. I see the roads congested. There is no clear protocol. There is no safety guideline. And what's happening inside the vehicle is still not known to me. So yeah, it is quite scary from that angle. But from taking on an adventure sport, I think one has the free will, one has the right to live, and one has the right to enjoy, be it a girl, a boy, a lady, or a man. Over to you, Sneha. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those words, Ms.
I
Vandana.
just want to add what Dr. Vandana just said. Rules and process. In our country, there are not enough motorcycle training center as much we sell in a year the motorcycle in India. So what my point is, it's a part of infrastructure and ecosystem. If we are manufacturing maximum number of motorcycles in India, if we are having so many bikers on the road, irrespective of gender, we should have enough training school, number one. And in other countries which I've studied, there are always a mandatory training session if we want to apply of any license for ride a particular bike.
Okay.
So Motorcycle Safety Foundation clearly define on international standard this much CC category bike should mandatory training. In
All
today,
right. I'm afraid we're totally out of time, sir.
Sorry.
We're totally out of time, but I think thank you very much to all of our panelists. Some very, very important takeaways from whatever you have said. And remember, at the end of the day, it's a dream. It was a passion project, which has just been cut short abruptly, brutally, and a life snuffed out, which clearly could have been saved. And I think that's what India really needs to wake up to, at least now. PK Jain, thank you very much for all your insights. Kuldeep Sharma, thank you very much for joining us and your time. Dr. Vandana Singh, thank you very much for what you shared. Divya Kumari, thank you very much for your time.